Picture this. It's 2 a.m. You're staring at a blank document. The cursor blinks mockingly. Your paper is due in 6 hours. Sound familiar? Welcome to the world of a master procrastinator. It's a place where deadlines loom like distant thunderclouds, where Netflix binges and Wikipedia rabbit holes reign supreme, where productivity goes to die and panic-induced adrenaline becomes your best friend. But fear not, fellow procrastinators. You're in good company. Some of history's greatest minds were notorious procrastinators. Leonardo da Vinci took 16 years to finish the Mona Lisa. Victor Hugo wrote naked to avoid leaving his house. Even I, your humble guide through this procrastination jungle, am writing this at the last possible minute. Because that's just how we roll.
So why dive into the mind of a master procrastinator?
Because understanding is the first step to change, or at least that's what we tell ourselves as we put off actually changing. But seriously, procrastination is a fascinating quirk of human nature. It's a battle between our present and future selves. A cosmic joke where we're both the comedian and the punchline. In this essay, we'll explore the twisted logic of procrastination. We'll uncover why we do it, laugh at some surprising truths, and maybe, just maybe, find a way out of this self-imposed productivity purgatory. So grab a cup of coffee, or 3, settle in, and let's procrastinate productively by learning about procrastination. After all, isn't that what a true master procrastinator would do? Let's face it, procrastination is weird. We know we should do the thing. We want to have done the thing, but we just don't do the thing. Why? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive into the twisted logic of procrastination.
First off, blame your brain, specifically the limbic system. This primitive part of your brain is all about immediate gratification. It's the voice saying, "Ooh, shiny," when you should be working. Your rational prefrontal cortex tries to keep you on track, but it's no match for the instant reward-seeking limbic system. It's like having a responsible adult and a toddler sharing your skull. Guess who usually wins?
Now let's talk about time perception. Procrastinators have a skewed sense of time. Future consequences feel abstract and distant. That report due next week might as well be due next century, but present discomfort, that's very real. So we avoid the discomfort of work now, even if it means more stress later. It's like we're playing chicken with our future selves, and both sides keep swerving.
But wait, there's more. Enter the perfectionist procrastinator. This special breed puts things off because they're afraid of doing a less than perfect job. The irony? By waiting until the last minute, they ensure they can't possibly do their best work. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of mediocrity. But hey, at least they have a built-in excuse, right?
All right, fellow procrastinators, time for some truth bombs. Brace yourselves, because some of these might hit close to home.
First up, procrastinators are often highly intelligent and creative. Yep, you heard that right. Your tendency to put things off might actually be a sign of genius. Or at least that's what we like to tell ourselves. The reality is, smart people are better at rationalizing their procrastination. We're not lazy, we're just marinating our ideas. Yeah, that's it.
Here's another shocker. Procrastination isn't about time management, it's about emotion management. When we procrastinate, we're not avoiding the task. We're avoiding the negative emotions associated with it. Anxiety, boredom, frustration, these are the real villains. The task is just collateral damage. So next time someone tells you to manage your time better, you can smugly inform them that you're actually managing your emotions. Then go back to scrolling through social media.
Speaking of which, did you know that procrastinators often have excellent short-term focus? It's true. We can spend hours engrossed in a task, as long as it's not the task we're supposed to be doing. Need to write a paper? Suddenly, organizing your sock drawer becomes the most fascinating activity in the world. It's like our brains have a do-anything-but-that setting. And boy, are we good at it.
But here's the kicker. Procrastination can actually be a form of self-harm. Ouch, right? By constantly putting things off, we're setting ourselves up for stress, guilt, and disappointment. It's like we're playing a twisted game of how much can I torture my future self, and yet we keep doing it. Why? Because the pain of doing the task now feels worse than the abstract future pain. It's a classic case of future me problems. Sorry, future me, you're on your own.
Section 4. Inside the procrastinator's brain, psychological insights.
Let's put on our lab coats and dive into the fascinating world of procrastination psychology. First up, we have the temporal myopia theory. Fancy words for future blindness. Our brains are wired to prioritize immediate rewards over future benefits. It's why that chocolate cake looks so tempting when you're on a diet. Your present self is living it up while your future self groans in despair. Thanks a lot, evolution.
Next, meet your new frenemy cognitive dissonance. This is the mental gymnastics we do to justify our procrastination. I work better under pressure, we tell ourselves, or I'm just waiting for inspiration to strike. It's like our brains are running a PR campaign to make us feel better about our poor choices. And we buy it, hook, line, and sinker. Because the alternative, admitting we're sabotaging ourselves, is just too uncomfortable.
But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the effort shock phenomenon. This is when we overestimate how difficult or unpleasant a task will be. So we put it off, only to find out later that it wasn't so bad after all. It's like our brains are drama queens, turning molehills into mountains. And by the time we realize our mistake, we've wasted hours avoiding a 20-minute task. Slow clap for our overactive imaginations.
Finally, we have the present bias, our tendency to value immediate payoffs more than future ones. It's why we hit snooze instead of going to the gym or watch just one more episode instead of starting that project. Our present selves are greedy little tyrants, always demanding instant gratification, and our future selves? They're abstract concepts, easy to ignore. It's like we're constantly mugging our future selves, stealing their time and opportunities. Sorry, future me, I promise I'll make it up to you tomorrow.
Section 5. Breaking free strategies to conquer procrastination.
All right, procrastinators, it's time for some tough love. We've laughed, we've cried, we've justified our bad habits. But now it's time to actually do something about it. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to just stop procrastinating. That's like telling a fish to stop swimming. Instead, let's look at some strategies that actually work for our procrastinator brains.
First up, the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. No exceptions. This works because it bypasses our brain's resistance to starting. Before your inner procrastinator can say "but later," you're already done. It's like ninja productivity. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish in these microbursts of action. Plus, it gives you a steady stream of small wins, which feels great.
Next, let's talk about the Pomodoro technique. This is where you work in focused 25-minute bursts, followed by 5-minute breaks. It's named after a tomato-shaped kitchen timer, because why not? The beauty of this technique is that it makes big tasks less daunting. You're not committing to hours of work, just 25 minutes. Even your procrastinator brain can handle that. And those breaks, they're guilt-free rewards for your efforts. It's like tricking yourself into productivity.
Now here's a counterintuitive strategy. Schedule your procrastination. Yep, you heard that right. Instead of feeling guilty about your Netflix binges or social media scrolling, plan them into your day. Give yourself designated procrastination time. This works because it satisfies your need for instant gratification while keeping it contained. Plus, it takes away the forbidden fruit appeal of procrastination. It's no longer a guilty pleasure. It's just part of your schedule.
Lastly, let's harness the power of social pressure. Tell someone about your goals and deadlines. Better yet, work alongside someone, even virtually. This taps into our deep-seated need for social approval. Suddenly, you're not just accountable to yourself, but to someone else. It's like having a productivity bodyguard keeping you on track. And let's face it, sometimes we need that external kick in the pants to get moving.
Section 6. From procrastination to productivity, a new beginning.
Well, fellow procrastinators, we've come to the end of our journey. Or is it just the beginning? After all, isn't procrastination just a way of prolonging beginnings and avoiding endings? But I digress. The point is, armed with our new understanding of procrastination, we're ready to turn over a new leaf. Or at least we're ready to think about turning over a new leaf. Baby steps, people.
Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. Especially not for us procrastinators. We're more last-minute miracle than overnight success. But that's okay. The goal isn't to become productivity robots. It's to find a balance between our present and future selves. To make peace with our inner procrastinator while gently nudging it towards action. Think of it as rehabilitating a very lazy, very stubborn pet.
So, what's the takeaway from all this? Well, for one, you're not alone. Procrastination is a universal human experience. Even the most successful people struggle with it. The difference is they've learned to work with their procrastination tendencies, not against them. They've turned their weakness into a strength. And if they can do it, so can we eventually when we get around to it.
In the end, conquering procrastination isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming a better version of yourself. One that still enjoys Netflix binges and Wikipedia rabbit holes, but also gets stuff done. One that can laugh at their procrastination tendencies, while also challenging them.
So go forth, my fellow procrastinators, and start your productivity journey, or, start it tomorrow. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day. And if it was, I bet the contractor procrastinated until the very last minute.